Happy Valentine's Day, I guess.
It's a special Valentine's edition of Talk Comics to Me, and we're doing it just for you.
Yeah, just because it's really, really cold, and Heather could not get a ride the other day. So, negative whatever degrees, like negative 13 with the wind chill. So, yeah, we had to not do that. So, if you live in Omaha and you're listening, go ahead and find Omaha Street Medics and donate some money to them so they can help.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's fantastic. Listen to Champ. Champ's always right.
So you can donate money to them because we are poor and you might have more money than us, but they help houseless folks in Omaha, which is incredibly important, especially when it is so cold right now. So anyway, we're actually here to talk about comics. You go ahead and start,
I have quite a heavy week this week.
Yeah. Plus, sex is never safe.
Yes, speaking of.
Even when you use all of the proper stuff.
Which I don't even... Okay, I'm not going to lie. I don't think they use proper protection.
There we
go. So this is Casual Fling. This is an AWA Upshot book, issue number 1 of 4. And I gave this a chance because a majority of the books that I've been reading through AWA I have enjoyed. And this one was no different. This was disgusting and I loved it. This is about a married businesswoman who is kind of tired of the monotony of her life. She meets a man at a business meeting and they kind of click and she has a cute little casual fling with him, except it ends up not being cute.
Or casual,
yeah, because he's a freak. And I don't know, this was like a different...
Feeling like a freak on a leash.
That's him. He's got a leash too, I bet. But this was like a weird take on it because it's usually the man who's a business dude and who's, cheating on his wife. But the man in this is the one who stays at home and takes care of the kids and has a routine and stuff. And she's like the strong, she is the Carrie Bradshaw of the house.
I actually should leave. I got somewhere else to go.
Oh my goodness.
Just make sure to turn off the soup.
Okay, what time?
Whenever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually, this one, aside from the content of it, I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it, but it was done in just such a way that it was very fascinating to read, and I did only special order this one issue, but I think I'm going to add it.
Oh, it's okay. The poster fell down.
Oh god, I was like, Mega, why'd you knock over your bowl?
He's strong, man.
But yeah, so if you love reading stories about cheating, I guess, I don't know.
If you love reading stories about cheating, those are my favorites.
But yeah, the tagline here is "Sex is never safe," which I think is really funny because it can be if you do it the right way.
Yeah. That's a really important part.
Yes. But yeah, only going to be 4 issues, so I'm excited to see, what happens, because the way that it ends, you can tell that the guy that she had the affair with is just scary. Mm-hmm, he is terrifying. He's like David Boreanaz in the movie Valentine.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my god.
I have no reference for what's happening.
Oh my god.
But I guess, you know what, it hits because it's Valentine's Day.
Yep, and it's David Boreanaz, who is apparently just a turd in real life, so we'll see.
Okay, so I have Homesick Pilots. This is issue number 3. I still really, really like this book a lot. I really think that this particular issue does a really great job of, the second issue, you kind of think it's just going to be like a quest sort of book where she's going to be finding these different objects in different places, and that's going to be every issue, but that is what happens throughout the book, but that's not what each issue is. This kind of delves more into who each character is and kind of more into kind of the separation between her and her bandmates and how they came together and all of that sort of thing, and how they are being driven apart because of all of this stuff that's happening currently. Still, I personally really enjoy it. I really like the art and the colors quite a bit. I really do like the story a lot. I don't know. I'm really just every issue I'm excited to read it and see what's happening. And I am waiting for that falter just because it does seem very possible with a story like this.
Right.
It seems like a lot of, like, undertaking, especially, like, building the characters and, like, the house in a meaningful way without coming off just really cheesy. And it just, like, doesn't so far. I, like, suppose I could see that aspect, but personally, I still really, really like it, and I think it's really worth the read.
Yeah, I read that first issue, finally. I told you I did a lot of reading. I finished reading it, and I loved it. I think I'm just going to get the trade.
Yeah, that makes sense,
pick up the
too,
trade
yeah.
when it comes out. But I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that you recommended it to me, because it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And I don't think, like, for me, it doesn't feel like something I would necessarily traditionally like either.
Right.
But I do like it a lot.
Nice. Very good.
Okay. So next we have Last Witch. This is issue number 2. I really do love this story a lot.
It's really good, and I like the way that they're taking kind of like Irish mythology and incorporating it into the story. I think that's really cool. That's one of my favorite things that they do in stories. So I don't know, it's very, very fascinating. I can't remember the girl's name, and it makes me very upset.
Oh yeah, I'm having a terrible time with that.
Yeah, I know. Her friend's name, Pijig, the one who was mean in the beginning or whatever in the first issue. They find out what happens to him. It's not good. The witch is real. Bran, is that her brother's name?
I honestly cannot.
I know, I
remember
cannot.
his name right now.
Driving me nuts. Anyway, the main character of the story, the girl, she finds out that her family has like a lineage of witches, and she is no different. She has like a mark.
Yeah.
So she's kind of learning what that means and how that's going to help her save her family, I guess.
Yeah. It's such a good story, and I do like how, like, they're weaving together, like, pieces of it, and I don't know, this is another one where I wasn't sure I would enjoy it at all, but I, like, love it quite a bit. I do love the story a lot. I don't know, probably the cigar-smoking grandmother sold it for me quite a bit, because just, like, some of those panels were just really, really perfect and reminded me of just, like, a cartoon, and, like, in such an interesting way, and, like, her facial expressions and just, like, what she was doing was always really great.
Yeah,
so.
That makes sense. You love old women that do that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
no, exactly. It's just like, it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, if you really want to sell me this story, this is the way to do it. Yeah. And the art is so good too. I think that's a really, like, powerful, like, conduit through which, like, the story is told too.
It's so clean. It's a really, really interesting story. I'm glad, Patrick, you feel the same way. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm into it. I love it.
All right, and then next we have Orcs. This is issue.
Orcs.
There, yeah. My neighbor's probably like, "What the fuck?"
Just down here screaming orcs.
Like, are there hobbits in there? Do they need help? So this is issue number 1. I actually did not special order this one. I grabbed it off the wall, or was able to grab it off the wall, and I actually kind of like this a little bit. It reminded me a lot of Headlopper in a very, like, childlike way.
Just orcs on a mission.
Yeah, orcs on a mission.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like the way that the way they communicate, the dialogue between the characters. I just thought it was interesting. All the weird animals, I guess, that are in this.
Yeah,
it was just a lot of fun. I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I would say I don't have much to say about it other than that, because it is just, like, kind of an adventure book. Just a little silly.
And it is, I don't know, very much a first issue where it just kind of like, hey, this is the world that you're in, like, get ready for it.
You're gonna have a time.
Yeah. Me?
Go ahead.
Okay. I have Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins. This is series 3. This is issue number 1. This takes place pretty much directly after the last series. Percy is now a part of the group. Grog has figured out what has happened to him, and now they are back in a town trying to rest and find a way to make money because they have used all their money. They get, like, a very simple kind of quest, and it's just finding this woman's son, and Keyleth wants to do it because she is very kind and she just wants to help, but everyone else is just like, nah, they're not offering money, we're not going to do it. So she's just trying to convince them the entire time to do that.
Okay.
Love the art. I absolutely love the art in this book. I don't know. the way that Vax is drawn just makes me really happy because all the faces that he makes is how I imagined his faces when I would listen to this first, I guess, or what am I trying to say? The first campaign. Honestly, the first campaign. I almost said orc again. But yes, it's the art is really good.
Is there an orc in my apartment?
Orcs!
I have my sword. I got Sting. Do I need to just, like, take it out?
You might need to. Like, we need to know.
Just in case.
But yes, I think if you are a fan of Critical Role at all, they're not necessary because it really doesn't have anything to do with the things that happen in the campaign. It's just a fun little extra thing to read. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Matthew Mercer is, like, a huge part of it, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah. All right. I have Rorschach. This is issue number 5. Man, I have read so many of this, and I said I was going to take it off, and I was like, oh, I mean, I've read so far. Why would I just
made it this far?
Why would I stop now? Which somebody should probably just be like, you know, it'd be best if you stopped. I didn't like mind this issue at all, and it did. The CIA agent or FBI dude, whoever the fuck he is, he works for the government, shadow piece of shit, trying to overthrow shit. I don't know. He talks to Turley, who is running against Redford, I believe, for president, and he believes the attack on him was orchestrated by Redford, and that it has all been and that this guy is covering everything up. And then he kind of goes more into, like, his relationship with the comedian and, like, how he met him in Vietnam and these sorts of things. Honestly, I might like this story a little more if it wasn't based in this world.
Like, if it was its own separate thing?
Yeah, like, I feel like it's a story that's, like, plausible without this character and this, like, setting.
I can see that, because, I mean, I've, you know, never read the origins of this character, but reading the first one, I thought that it would be cool if it was just, like, a brand new thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It feels like parts of it are just, like, it just doesn't seem necessary, and it does feel like it could be more full, and, like, I mean, it's well thought out, but I just feel like there's just, I don't know, there's something missing, I guess is the best way for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I read about that recently, that story in general, where it's just like there's just something not quite there.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know, like Watchmen is its own thing. Once again, we don't need to have this conversation ever again. Right. But it's just, for me, you know.
Not necessary. Okay. I get that.
Okay. So now we have I Walk with Monsters. This is issue, number 3?
3, yes. I loved this issue.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good. You get to go into the history of David and
Daniel?
why. Is it?
Oh, it is
David.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Daniel.
Is Daniel her brother?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I knew it was something weird like that. Okay, yeah. David. You get to know his history, like who he is and who he was, like before he met up with JC and why he's able to do the things that he doesn't want her to do. I love the relationship between the two of them. I think it's wholesome in a way, despite what they're doing. Like I like the thought that he is protecting her.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to keep her from that like edge of doing something that like can push her to like extremes that like he understands more than she does.
But the story they figure out who the bad man is who took her brother, and that was her whole mission. So it's them trying to figure out the next step and what they're supposed to do in order for her to get her revenge.
Yeah.
I really love this story. I think it's
interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say like good, and it is good, but it's more interesting.
Yeah, the way it's like weaving itself together has been really good. And I really like the art quite a bit too.
Yeah, it's really good. I was just going to point out that cover again because I love the cover that you got.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so good. Telling you, Jen Hickman, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I had considered getting that one too, but like I'm a freak and I was like, I have cover A's already, so I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, so next we have Bliss. This is issue number 5. Is this back after a hiatus, or
Yeah,
was
it's been like 4 months.
Okay.
Something like that. It's been a while. Because I remember when the 4th issue came out, it was like, oh, no, this is going to be a bit of time. 2 months, probably.
Okay. Because I couldn't remember, like, I knew it had been a while, but I was just like, has it actually been?
Yeah, it's been
like,
a bit.
Okay.
You're just kind of introduced to the gods and, like, how everybody's kind of weaved together and how... Why can't I remember that dude's name? His
Perry?
dad. Perry's dad is...
I can't remember his name. I just remember Perry because I kept calling him Percy.
Perry's dad is trying to, like, get higher ground and do better and kind of repent. And Perry's learning all of these things as he is trying to go about taking the gods down.
Mm-hmm. And saving his dad in the process, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
I still really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I especially liked this issue just because you see the dad is trying to heal himself, but he can't without accepting the things that he's done. And I just like the way that was done. His therapist, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
I really liked her. I thought she was great.
I mean, like, you have to, like, accept this to be able to, like, feel the weight. Yeah, it was good. I do like it a lot. Go ahead.
Me? Okay. So I have White Ash Presents Galarian. This is like a weird font to use for it. I didn't even like consider how to pronounce the name. Galarian, I suppose. She is an assassin of sorts. It's 3 different stories that are told. One writer has different artists for each of the 3 parts. The timeline is really cool, I guess, the way that it's set up. So the first chapter in the story is her. There's a hit out on her, so all these people are coming to kill her, and she gets poisoned, and a younger kid is the one who ends up saving her. And she says, you know, like, in 1,000 years, if you need my help for anything, like, I could use you as a guard. So then the second part of the story is 1,000 years plus from that time. They meet up and they are, he's been like in love with her forever, but they are lovers, I guess, in a sense.
Okay.
I like the way that it's done because it's not like, they just hint at it, like, oh, this is this, but they're on a bunch of different quests to do things, and he had been taken captive, so the Thane, and his name is Thane, the Thane in this one isn't actually him, so then she goes on her own separate quest to find him. And then the last chapter is like 1,000 years from that point, and they are living in the United States, like masquerading as like, I think it's the United States. They don't actually say,
Yeah.
but they're masquerading as like humans and stuff. And it's just like a timeline of how these 2 people met and spent their entire lives together. And I thought it was done really well. I did not know what to expect when I had ordered it. I was just like, oh, it's just a standalone, like, one story. Cool. I'm into it. And you know, I love stories, so this was done. Really enjoyed it. And I like the fact that the artist changed for each chapter of the story.
Yeah.
And I did like them all in their own separate ways. It's just really violent and there's a lot of love, and I just loved it so much.
Good. All right, so now we have Norse mythology. This is number 5.
This is one of my favorite stories in Norse mythology.
Is it?
It is, yes. I really, really enjoy this one. Mostly because I just feel terrible for Fenrir, and I don't think anyone in these stories got what they deserved, and I don't know. I think Tyr's whole part in it was really cool.
Yeah. No, I like this one quite a bit. I like the art a lot, too.
Rex.
So... Okay, I'm going to continue.
Yeah,
now.
no, keep going.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Sorry, I like the way that certain things are done in this. Because I'm not personally too big of a Neil Gaiman fan, but this is like a completely different thing. I love these stories very much. They're short and to the point, but they get everything that you want from it. I don't know, I really enjoy these. I think they're just really well done. And this next story, I'm like really excited to see how it plays out. It's Freya, Thor loses his hammer, Loki says some things he's not supposed to say, and I love what's coming next, so I'm excited to see what happens and how it plays out. But I've been pretty impressed with how this has turned out. And I was thinking maybe I should actually read the book now, even though I've like read these stories a million times. Maybe it'll be
like something different.
Yeah, like a different take on them.
Yeah, take it in for sure.
So, I don't know, Neil Gaiman is surprising me, so thank you.
Okay, so then we have Dark Detective. This is issue number 3.
We got one left.
One left. I did read 2 and 3 this week, so I could get caught up. And I don't know. The story is like interesting at the same time where I just really am looking at this because Dan Mora's art.
I think that's about where I'm at too.
Like I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm just, what's going to be the payoff here?
Yeah, because I'm not invested in it, and I think it might just be because of the content. Like
it's just like characters. That. I mean, that Gotham has very little, I don't know, weight to you, I guess.
Yeah,
and then the magistrate, I don't know, it just seems like a robot, so you don't really like quite get his gig yet, and it just kind of seems like, I don't know. And I don't think it's bad. I just don't, like I said, I just want the payoff. I need to know, but it looks gorgeous. It looks so good. It's insane.
I was more invested in it when I was imagining this version of Batman being played by Henry Cavill. So as I was reading it, I just kept pretending that it was him, and I was like, hell yeah, Henry, get it. But I'm not gonna lie, the Grifters story was probably my favorite part of this issue.
I did like how that ended too. That was quite interesting.
I am glad, despite the fact that it is Dan Mora and I could read anything that he does the art for forever, I am glad this is going to be only 4 issues because I just want something more. I want the conclusion, and I want it to be worth my time. Yeah, I guess. And it's not bad. It's really not bad.
Yeah, and I mean, for like a DC book, a Batman book, I like all of these future state books. It's just it's like, well, okay, give me.
I'm excited to read the next Catwoman. When I was checking in the books, I was just like, I almost read it, but I was like, I'm gonna wait because I knew that I would just get distracted and just end up reading all of them. But, yeah, there's been several of the future state ones that I was not expecting to enjoy at all that I'm enjoying quite a bit. So, you did it again. Okay, I have Beast. This is by Marion Churchland. This book came out several years ago. 2009. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that's how old it was. Anyway, so I read a book called Arclight. It was Arclight. A few weeks ago, and absolutely loved the art in it by Marion Churchland. So I was kind of just going through and buying things that she had done the art for. She wrote and did the art in this one. This is about an aspiring sculptor named Colette who was commissioned by a figure simply known as Beast. It's kind of hard to explain, like exactly. You kind of have to read it to understand truly what I'm saying. But she's basically essentially an abandoned house, and she's working on this sculpture. And the man who had commissioned her, Beast, just kind of shows up whenever and says very ominous things. But I was telling Champ earlier, when she wrote this, it was after her dog had passed away of like 15 years or something like that. So she was like not in the right headspace. So it started off, originally she said the story started off as like an ode to her dog, and then it turned into this whole thing about how it'll always be there. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so good. I loved, of course, the art in it, but the fact that she only used shades of colors, I thought was very, very interesting. Really cool. Yeah. And there is a dog in this book, but it's kind of in the background, and I thought that was a very interesting thing for her to do because it's there and then all of a sudden it's not. But yeah, this was a very quick read. I don't know. I would recommend it just because I thought it was a really good... It, like, made me emotional. I almost cried while reading it, just thinking about, like, oh, okay, my dog's gonna die one day.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
All right. So then we have Chainmail Bikini. I actually have not gotten a chance to read this yet, but it is some stories about anthologies of women gamers.
Each story is just a few pages long, and it's a different person every few pages. I have gotten a few stories in, and there's one which I'm excited for you to read. It's called Reticulating Splines.
Okay.
It's just the way that it's drawn was really good. It made me laugh really hard as I was reading it. It's a girl playing The Sims.
All right, yes, good.
But yes, I've enjoyed this a lot so far. And again, I'm only a few chapters in, and so far I've dealt with like D&D and The Sims and Mario, I believe, was the other one that they did. Yeah. I think one of the stories is about a girl playing with her siblings, and it just reminded me of me playing with my little sisters, like growing up. So it hit.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know, it's really good. They're lighthearted and also like just heavy at the same time. Just
real.
Yeah, very, very real. It's good. I would recommend this to every single person, especially women or femme presenting persons. I just think it's just very, very interesting and a really good take on this whole part of the world, I guess.
Yeah, that niche.
Yeah.
Or culture, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All right, so then now we have Eternals. This is issue number 2. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, I like it a lot.
I think I like this one more than the first one just because the characters and like the story itself has been kind of set up. Mm-hmm. So I liked seeing how they interacted and how they're solving the problem.
And it is nice to get that like balance of like who these characters are, especially if you're like unfamiliar with this world.
Assad Ribic's facial expressions are one of my favorite things, so that's what I was like paying attention to while I was reading it. Sprite's faces are so good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of this I really enjoy, and I do, once again, it's a mystery, so gotta love a mystery.
It's, and just like all of his books, it builds, I guess. Oh god, my back itches.
Yeah, especially like the character development itself.
Oh yes, because I was never really interested in reading anything about Eternals, but as always, I'll just read anything that Kieran Gillen writes. But like the way that he builds the characters is it's really solid. I enjoy it quite a bit, and I hope one day I'll understand what's happening.
I hope one day to read it and know the words that are being written down.
It's like, love inside jokes. Love to be a part of one someday.
I guess I will go, because this is technically not an next book. I mean, it is, and it isn't. This is Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. This is issue number 3. Just that little anthology of 3 different stories. It was like, I did not end up reading the 3rd story, I don't think, because I had enough Wolverine by that time.
That makes sense.
But it's still enjoyable. You have to, like Wolverine. I do enjoy Wolverine, but sometimes, like just like 3 stories, different like Wolverine stories where he's kind of just like fighting shit in a row. It's just like, okay, I get it. You're fucking Wolverine. I get it. But I do like seeing the different takes on him still.
Is it still like 3 different writers, 3 different artists for each one? I really like that concept. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a nice way to like just get a little bit of a story about a character. And I do like that, like these Black, White, and whatever books quite a bit. Hey, you're our Valentine.
Yeah,
now.
Happy Valentine's Day. We love you.
I do like that idea of it. Yeah, and then it's Valentine's Day, so Black, White, and Blood.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip out everybody's hearts. Like in Temple of Doom. Okay.
Well, speaking of Valentine's Day, I have X-Force. This is issue number 17. This is a Kid Omega-centric issue. He goes... I mean, it just goes after... It tells all the different ways he's died since they've, perfected the rebirthing or whatever, and how he says, I am tired of dying, I don't want to die anymore, but no matter what happens, he just like
keeps
dying. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That he gets sent to that ship or whatever they get like a distress call or whatever from a ship, so he goes out there to investigate by himself, and when he's there he dies, but he notices that like everyone has been killed. So when he gets brought back, they're asking him like, well, do you remember what happened and all that kind of stuff, and he explains like, no, everyone was dead, but what happened, they're trying to investigate. A lot of the people that had been killed has Wolverine's marks on him, but they're not spaced correctly, so it's not him, it's just him masquerading. But yeah, him and his girlfriend have a cute little talk, and he changes up his look. She convinces him that like every time that he does die, he almost has like a death wish essentially, and he's trying to get to the root of that and trying to just like figure out why exactly he is the way he is. And that's when he decides like, I don't want to do this anymore, like I want to be happy for once. He cries. It's just a really good issue. Yeah. He changes up his look completely, and I don't like it personally, but he's in love with it, so good for him, I guess. But yeah, they're just trying to investigate like what had happened, who is pretending to be X-Force, and why they're killing all these people and trying to like frame them. Yeah, I really like this one. I don't really care for Kid Omega either way. Like, he's just kind of like a character. I do enjoy him sometimes. I think he says some really funny things, but I also think he's a tryhard. But I felt some type of way about him in this one. Like, it was just very relatable, the thoughts that he had, so I liked it, yeah.
I mean, that was a book that I surprisingly liked quite a bit, so I do need to just read those, like, last couple issues.
I can let you borrow them if you want.
I mean, you have that one here, so. I
mean, was that the last one? Okay, I'll just leave this one here then too, and you can read it
eventually.
If you want.
I'll do it. Yeah. No worries.
That's okay.
So that's it. We did it. It's been a Valentine's Day. We hope that you understand that we love you a bunch just for listening to us.
Every single one of you who listens, you're our Valentine.
Because you have the patience to listen to us talk for 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, which is really impressive, I must say. So thank you for doing that. And if you read comics, thanks for supporting your local comic shops and all of that stuff. Once again, I will repeat, like, if you're in Omaha, consider donating to Omaha Street Medics. I mean, even if you're not, do that. That'd be great. They help support our houseless population. And there's also probably, other local places that do that as well.
We should put together a list and, like, post it and stuff if you wanted. I don't know. I just think it would be cool if we had a list of places where if you do want to donate money, like, especially this time of year, to people who desperately need it, like, we can have those resources available. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, because, supporting anyone you can, as far as you can, as much as you can, is super important. So, yes. As always, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. We love you.
We love you. Thank you for joining us.